This is the voice of the Port of the Week, signing on. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching, listening, or if there are any other means of viewing this content, well, then doing that. This is the Port of the Week here. Thank you for tuning in. What time is this being recorded at? This show, it is 12:10 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, August the 18th, 2014. So yes, we are recording this the same exact day, evening, night, that this will be uploaded. Maybe that's a relief, maybe it isn't. Either way, it is what it is. I was actually going to record this show last night. I was. Well, but I didn't. Well, why? Please explain. Well, I was going to, but I'm sure, as you are familiar with, if any of you are long-time listeners, I like to, when I record these, I like to use the portable mic. Alright? You know, I have a microphone that could plug in and just sit, and it's fine. Could record indefinitely. But I like to use the portable mic. Number one, I think it records in higher quality. Number two, I could also pace around and walk around the room and what have you, which I'm sure you know I like to do very much as I record these. Well, the only thing is that this portable mic, it operates on battery. I'm not talking like I have to put in 2 AA's or anything like that. It has to be recharged, alright? It's completely out of battery last night. Didn't know that. So, failed on me. And I had to charge it in. By the time I was charging, it was already after 4, and I said, forget it. So we're recording it tonight. We're doing it live. Not actually live, but it's more in real time than normal, we'll say that. But it is what it is. Alright, so 12:12 a.m. here. Hope you're all well. We're starting off the week, ending the weekend. Starting off this week, another week in August. Soon it shall be a week in September. No change for me. But for some, might be going back to school. Might be back to university, might be back to college. For some people might be back to high school, and for younger viewers might be back to middle school, or, God forbid, elementary school. If you are going to elementary school, please understand that while I do keep a formal show, and as professional as I can make it to be, if you're an elementary school student, if you're like 10 years old, or 9 years old and you're watching this, please don't. Just saying that right now. This isn't intended for that age group. But I suppose if you feel the need to watch it, you may. I'm not going to stop you. It is a balmy 67 degrees outside. Want to hear some more meteorological statistics? Sure, why not? Heat index 74 degrees, dew point 57, wind chill 67, indoor temperature 77 degrees with an average humidity of 48%, rainfall rate 0 inches with a total of 0.0 inches per hour. Forecast, clearing up, sunny, partly cloudy. I will say this, though, the other day, I stepped out at 6 a.m. Now, of course, mind you, it is the coolest part of the day at that time anyways. But I stepped out at 6 a.m., and when I did, I had to think, is this really August? Because I thought to myself, oh, this temperature is not reminiscent of an autumn dawn, or it is reminiscent of an autumn dawn, but not an August morning, that is for sure. Feels more like an autumn dawn, that's what I meant to say. What was the temperature? It was 53 degrees outside. And I thought, my goodness, is this summer? You know. Clearly it is, but might I say, most likely the coolest summer, at least I ever remember. But I'm not complaining. I mean, sure, some people who like to hit the beach and whatever and sweat and all that stuff are complaining, but I'm not. It's rather pleasant this summer. Oh, we get some showers and storms here or there, but for the most part, we have fine zephyrus winds, clear skies, and cool temperatures. And I have no complaints at all. So, with that being said, I could comfortably wear long sleeves and a jacket, a suit jacket, of course, every single day, which I have been doing. And that's the first summer I could ever say I've been doing that every single day. So really, you know, some people like to say, oh, autumn is in the air. You know, it's been in the air since June, really. You know, so no need for that unfortunate adaptation to cooler temperatures because they've always been here. I'm going with Monster Energy tonight. But that's my little meteorological spot on the show. If you notice, I recently put up a review a few hours ago. I filmed it today. I did. I'm actually wearing the same exact outfit right now. I haven't changed at all. And I will not be changing until probably like 8 a.m. because I got some relatives coming over who I have to help out, pack some things, and they'll be gone later in the day, but I need to help them out this morning at 5:45 a.m. So I need to be dressed for that. I wouldn't, of course, with today's standards and all, I'm sure I could go out half nude and they wouldn't even care, but number one, that would be an ungodly sight, and number two, I would feel absolutely terrible. But I'm sure we could get away with it. But yes, I'm still wearing the same exact outfit. I'm wearing my, sans jacket, I suppose. But I'm wearing the black pants, white shirt, and a purple tie. Thought it was a nice tie I got. Jerry Garcia tie. Not Cherry Garcia, Jerry Garcia tie. Curves and Lines Collector's Edition. Limited to 2013. And, it's a fine tie. Came with a nice little lapel pin also with the guitar, but I don't know what my thoughts on lapel pins really are. I figure the only two lapel pins that I'd ever wear would be a little American flag, which I have yet to do so, or I'd wear one of those DPRK, those red, lapel pins that you see everyone over in North Korea wearing. I'd wear one of those, with whatever picture of, who was that, Kim Il-sung on it, or something like that. I would wear one of those, but otherwise, not for me. It doesn't feel right, puncturing a little hole in the lapel to stick this through, and I don't know. Well, before we read the fan mail, which we got a little bit of, certainly a little more than last night, but not by much at all, just by maybe 2 more letters. Well, we have a plethora of items to review. No kidding. Yeah, we do. Number 1, I have good news. The Energy Crisis series shall prosper. It will literally prosper. We now have 6 drinks here to review. 6, and also another one in the fridge. We've got, of course, Jaffa Monster, right? Jaffa Calling. You're familiar with the Zimmerman. That funny thing with the Skype. Who maybe someone knows I'm talking about. But we have Java Monster here in the refrigerator. Kona Blend, as it's called. Of course, we got that in Hawaii. Likewise, also, we have this Energy Mango Guava. And then, listen, we hit the jackpot here, okay? I've been meaning to review these. Yeah, I know. I'm a year late, but it's something to do now. And we've got 4 more weeks of shows thanks to this. There's a deal. They're selling Kickstart by Mountain Dew. We got 4 cans, different types. We got Energizing Limonade Kickstart. We have Energizing Black Cherry. We have, I guess they're all energizing, right? Fruit Punch. And we have Orange Citrus. So at least we got 4 cans here. And apparently, we finally were able to negotiate things out of this company. Apparently we're going to be getting a case of some other drink, with a mixed case of like 4 different drinks coming in. And if that's the case, no pun intended there, but if that's the case, then we have an additional almost month worth of reviews here. Because normally I film an Energy Crisis review maybe once every week or week and a half. So I mean, we're set, people. We are. But I know I got a backlog of videos. I know I've got about a 6 video backlog. Now, I mean, this is going back to, I remember back in late 2013, I had a 12 video backlog. Yes, that's right, 12 video backlog. If you're not familiar with what a backlog is, that means that on my camera or my computer, I have more than 1 video that I have to upload. So right now, every video that I film, there's about 5 or 6 videos before that I have to upload first. So every video you see of me is probably about a week old. But this video of the chicken fries, I knew. I got so many requests for it. The most I have ever gotten for any item in this channel. I knew I had to do something about it. Today, what did I do? I changed my entire sleep schedule just for these darn chicken fries. But I wasn't disappointed, that's for sure. I changed my entire sleep schedule for these chicken fries. Oh, what did you do? I fell asleep at 4:30 a.m. Yeah. Now, how do you manage that, lecturer? I took only a small Red Bull early in the evening, so I experienced a mild crash, and that just went on, and I was able to get to sleep a little earlier. Didn't have the caffeine to keep me going like I normally do. But, that being said, woke up at 11 a.m., did what needed to be done, went over to the Burger King at 11:30-ish, give or take. Went over to the Burger King. I normally don't go out on Sundays, you know me. I usually sleep during the afternoon, and then I just stay in for dinner. But I went out today, something that I haven't done almost all year. And I went out, I got it taken care of. I actually sat down and ate a Whopper, got a double Whopper. I said, no mayo, please. None of that. And, sat down, had my burger, my lunch. Small fries. I had the chicken fries packed up in the bag, got home, and reviewed it immediately. I was kind of worried. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. I was kind of worried when I was at the Burger King, because I read about the Burger King. I read an article. I think it might have been some sort of magazine or newspaper, online site. There was somewhere that I read it. I remember that. And they were saying that Burger King is appealing to a lot of younger people. Now by younger, everyone has different perceptions of age. By younger, I mean anywhere between, let's just say 16 and 26, right? And let's just say anyone from upper teens to upper 20s in age. Potentially with these chicken fries things, whatever advertising campaign or marketing, it's clearly working. Whereas McDonald's, they said, is actually having a rough time. But I'll be reviewing that jalapeno burger from McDonald's at some point soon. I hope to get it in this week, at least. I'm being productive. I am. It's that late summer productivity coming in. Right? Just made that up on the spot. You could be productive anytime you want. It doesn't just have to be late summer. Could be mid-spring. But anyways. But I was a bit worried, because when I was there were a good deal of, people in that age range, I said, who were there already. Figure early birds, right? And I was a bit worried that one of them was going to recognize me while I was there, and but no one did. Thankfully. I figure if I ever stumble across one of you, I wouldn't bolt in the other direction. I'd handle it well. But the last thing I want is someone to be in this room, yelling, OMG, it's Report of the Week! And then everyone's just looking at me, thinking, who the hell is this guy, So, that's not what I want, Yeah, so, listen, I have been called out in real life before, I'm not going to lie to you. One day I was just ready to cross the street. I was at the convenience store. Ready to cross the street, and this car pulls up. He almost clipped me. And the driver gets out, and this was early 2013. The driver gets out, and he says, "Oh my God, did you do that Pan Pizza review?" I said, "Yeah." Boy. But, this stuff happens every now and then. I just find the reactions kind of funny. So here we are, though. Here we sit. 12:24 a.m. 14 minutes in. I'm in a good mood today. So hopefully that'll make this VORW show a little better than the ones of days past, right? BK Chicken Fries review is up. Clearly a little more, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Snowballing a little faster than others. I guess it's because it's a newer, right? Newer thing. That face though on the little chicken fries box. Kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. Those eyes, they're just staring into your soul. But anyways, suppose it's adequate time. I suppose I can loosen my tie, right? I'm wearing one of those dress shirts. I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm not a fan of them. wearing one of those shirts, you know, where there's 2 buttons on the collar. How queer. How odd was that? Heard someone yelling, but figure if it was anyone close by, the motion sensor would be on. Oh. So, anyways, it's one of those shirts with the buttons on the collar, and you know, I'm not a fan of those, but I have one, and I'll wear it when when all the other shirts are in the wash, like they are today. Anyways, let's read some fan mail. Let's see, where do we pick up here? Yeah, the other day I was listening to this song. It was an older song. Most of the time, you know, my preferred genre of music is, you know, 90s, early 2000s. But I was listening to a song from the 60s. Sure you've heard it at some point, called No Milk Today. Right. Anyway, where were we? Here we are. Hi, just found your channel. Very interesting style you have to things. Strangely compelling. My question would be to ask, what part of the country do you live in? Because if you're in the Midwest region, I'd recommend doing a review of some Broadway pizza. No, I'm not in the Midwest region. Apologies for that. If I ever am, and if I happen to have my camera with me, and I happen to come across a Broadway pizza, maybe I'll get a review in there. Hey, last episode you said that you wipe cans sometimes, because you wouldn't want fecal matter or worse on them. Well, what's worse than fecal matter? Also, to the dude who had his nerve drilled, I went through the same ordeal. Dentists are a mixed bag. Oh, yes, they sure are. Speaking of, I have to tell you about my dental experience after we read a few more letters. Generally, they're either very friendly guys who want the best for your dental health, or they're overcharging sadists. I do agree to that. Well, what's worse than fecal matter? Yeah, it's a good point. Most of the time there isn't, at least in a conventional environment. I'd hate to say first world environment, but it is the truth, and I just don't like the phrasing of that. But let us be hypothetical. Say somehow, some way, Monster Energy has a packaging plant in Liberia, all right, and the poor worker, making almost nothing, is ill with Ebola, and you're still packaging them by hand, let's say that, is ill with Ebola symptoms. There's slime and everything coming out of his mouth. He's on the edge of death, but he's a resilient worker, and he's up there at the packaging plant, working till the very last minute. And this package of monster cans, he just, whatever, coughs, vomits, whatever, all over them. But he still packages them up, somehow in some sort of airtight container, sent off to the convenience store, and they're sold. And I buy them. And there's this dried up, caked up slime all over the beverages. That still might contain the Ebola virus. That, I think, is worse than fecal matter. The chance of that happening, almost zero. But it's just it's one thing that's worse than fecal matter. 'Cause, I mean, at least, well, I suppose if I guess if you you were to consume enough of it, I suppose it could kill you. But at least Ebola could almost certainly kill you if it goes untreated or poorly treated. Greetings, John. My systems indicate that the great cheese crisis of 2016 has been averted. However, the high order of Eastern Europe, from that reality, have discovered time travel. They have sent back a machine to terminate your life systems before August 29th, 2016. This is an advanced Siberian systems model. It is capable of morphing and disguising itself as any energy drink or fast food item. I am mailing myself to your location now. We could only hope I get there first. Keep making reviews, though. I did not tell you this, but when the High Order begins to take over Earth, it is your review videos that give humanity hope. That told us to fight back. Excellent, excellent. I'm glad I'm capable of doing that. And dear Report of the Week, you strike me as someone who would be interested in ambient music, given your seemingly, like how that's in parentheses, calm demeanor. You have also expressed interest in photography, and I, for one, feel that some ambient music can invoke an image of a serene landscape, or put the listener in a relaxed state. I don't know. You could try it if you get tired or stressed out. By the way, I might as well ask, do you have much interest in music outside of what you've already mentioned? Anyways, keep up the good work. Your videos are always a pleasure to watch. Well, thank you. Ambient music, actually, I don't aggressively listen to it, but I have listened to it from time to time. Of course, one of the pioneers of ambient music is Mr. Brian Eno, and as I have listened to his work. Another interesting genre. Now, I don't know if you could really consider this ambient, but it has the same type of effect. It's a genre of music called post-rock. And my Canadian acquaintance was actually the fellow who introduced me to post-rock. We were discussing one night in 2013, and he said, "Yeah, check out this. I usually listen to it before I fall asleep every night." It was a post-rock tune. And might I say, it's a fine one. I like it very much. I actually listened to it yesterday before I even read this message. So I'll tell you the name of the tune. I'm not going to play it or anything. Oh, believe me, listen, if YouTube wasn't so aggressive on copyright, this show, I guarantee you, would have a lot, and I mean a lot, more music. It would. I mean, there would be songs, at least numerous musical interludes in my VORW show. But because of all this copyright stuff, you can't use this song, I can't do that. But if given the opportunity, I gladly would. Gladly. Let's see, let's go through the YouTube history. What crap have we watched recently? Let's see. Worst fire safety demo ever, yeah. Burger King chicken fries. Ed Harcourt. Do as I say, not as I do. That's another fine song. Some Nirvana. Snow Patrol. OK Go. 9 Days. Yeah, here we go. It's called, By the Last Days. It's called The Last Days. That's the artist, I suppose. And the song name is The Time Will Never Come Back. The Last Days, The Time Will Never Come Back. You'll see, if you Google that, or YouTube that, it's the same thing, right? What's the difference anymore? If you YouTube that, you'll come across a video by the same title that has this beautiful picture. I'm not going to go in depth describing it. It's a beautiful picture. The video is 9 minutes and 4 seconds in length, and if you have the time, I recommend it. I like it very much, and I recommend it. So with that being said, let's see how many minutes we are into this show. 22 minutes. Oh, we have plenty of time. We only have, let us see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more messages to read and a shout out to give. So we have time. I've got 20 more minutes. Let's talk. Let's talk about the dentist, huh? Why not? So, it's funny to think that the last time I recorded a VORW show was Thursday night. It seems so far long ago, yet we're perfectly on schedule for these shows, so nothing to worry about there. Took a swig of Monster Energy. Monster is keeping me going. Not really, it's just keeping me going faster, right? Well, anyway, though. Let's talk about the dentist, right? Well, you heard me talk, you heard me discuss, mutter, rant, whatever you want to call it. I spoke about going to the dentist Friday. I planned the appointment so, right, I could immediately be bombarded with it. Because listen, it might be reasonable and logical to do this, to plan the appointment a week in advance. That's all it's going to do is give me time to worry about it and think, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? So, I planned it literally less than 24 hours later, so I didn't have any time to think or react. I think that was a good thing. Of course, I had time to brush the teeth before that. But I went in, planned it out, said it could be also at 4:30 p.m., the appointment, because the dentist's office closes at 5. So, putting them on the spot, right? That's what I wanted to do, so they couldn't keep me for that long. It was also just a little analysis, as they called it. Right? Treatment, assessment, and reevaluation. So, we got the bill. Thankfully for insurance, it wasn't too bad, but if it wasn't, oh boy. I don't know what I'd do. That's the thing, they charge you so much. So, what did they have to do? In periodic oral evaluation, that means the hygienist comes in with a little mirror and pick and just pokes around. Speaking of the hygienist, I was actually very satisfied with my experience because I had a whole new staff there. So maybe someone else complained, maybe a few people complained, but they had an entirely new staff there that was better. The hygienists did not gawk at me. They didn't look at me as though I was a circus animal or a car accident. They didn't even make any comments at all about how I was dressed. I was just another patient, and that's the attitude I like. You know, before that, I was pissed off. And I apologize for that language, but it's the only way I could say it, as I speak quite passionately about my deplorable experiences with the dentist. Because, well, the last time I went back in 2013, I mean, the hygienists, right, they did their job, but all they just looked at me as though, you know what, I was like a car accident. It was a look of perplexing, you know? And then someone was saying, I could hear him saying, I don't know why he wears those suits. And I thought to myself, you know, that's, of course, well, it wasn't really an insult. I mean, come on, you know? Save that for your own time. But this time, the hygienist, she was this little Asian lady, and they treated me very respectful, and I was just another patient. And I like that attitude. It's professional. Oh, sure, they could say anything, you know, they want once I'm out of here. But they were respectful, and they just kept it business, you know, the entire time, and that I liked. So, periodic oral evaluation, that means they poked around. Then, call this prophylaxis. That means it's fancy for brushing your teeth. They gave me the short, and probably the most expensive, toothbrushing session I had ever received in my life. $95. Took about 4 minutes. Oh, well, that's kind of short, isn't it? Oh, yeah, but you should have seen the toothbrush they were using. I mean, must have been like a $5,000 toothbrush. I mean, that thing, I could feel the reverberations going all through my mouth just from one tooth. I mean, oh my goodness. The thing was powerful. Just went with classic, of course, mint toothpaste, if you cared. But that was $95. And they had a topical application of fluoride to put that in there. Oh, this foul-tasting substance. $37. Then they took 2 radiographic images, that means 2 x-rays, for $43. And then they took another radiographic image for an extra $30. All amounting to $253. The dentist. So what did they find out of those radiographic images? I like calling them radiographic images instead of x-rays. Sounds nicer, sounds better. What did they find from them, though? What did they discern? I got that big cavity in the back. They said it's down to the nerve. And that kind of gave me some hope. I thought, well, maybe they're going to just pull the tooth, but they're going to remove that. And they're going to remove the temporary filling and then put in a regular one. And that's all. That's it. I was worried they were going to say, you need a root canal now. They didn't. They said, we'll keep an eye on it. They didn't say anything about a root canal. So, you know, it saves money and might be a little uncomfortable, but it's better than a root canal, maybe even a little better than an extraction. But that's what they're going to be first working on. And then, of course, I got the 3 cavities up there that they never finished working on from 2013. And there's just one other small one that was developing near the front, so that's no problem. So they could get that taken care of in about 2 to 3 treatments. One whole treatment will be on that tooth in the back, and then the others will use to clear up everything else. Well, so when are you going back? You going back this week? No. Early October. That's the next time they could fit me in. I thought, what? You know. Well, but couldn't you get me in at some point in September? You know, you'd think with everyone else, you know, so busy and what have you. They said, no. In October it is. So I got time to prepare, I guess, which may not be a good thing, but what's done is done. Hey man, I really do like your videos. I would love to talk to you on Skype. I'm sorry I do not have Skype. Next! Aloha. I was shocked to see the DiGiorno designer pizza kit did not include mushrooms. What is your opinion on mushrooms, particularly as a pizza topping? I must admit, perhaps mushrooms add more texture to a pizza than flavor, but I personally love mushrooms. Yeah, the designer pizza kit, I don't know, it was just more bland than I would have expected. They make actually 2 other pizza kits, but we actually got our hands on another one that we'll review. And trust me, we're not going to, or maybe we will waste some time preparing the pizza, but that kind of gets, boring. It's pretty fast. But I tried to make constructing the pizza as interesting as possible, to no avail. But speaking of, I forgot to mention this, we got a couple frozen pizzas in here to review. It's mostly DiGiorno, that's for sure. Well, no. Take my words back. It's not mostly DiGiorno. What do we have, though? Well, we have mostly DiGiorno thin and crispy pizza. I've never seen this one. Pepperoni and peppers. So we have that. We also have a DiGiorno cheese stuffed crust pizza, but I'm going to be reviewing that. Okay. And then we have this. It's a bruschetta pizza. But I'm perplexed right now. Where the hell did it go? There's a missing pizza. It's gone. But anyway, we have a bruschetta pizza. I guess it has everything on it, right? So we got that. It's a rising crust pizza with pepperoni and sausage. Oh, here it is. It's a DiGiorno designer pizza kit. I couldn't find it. Then I see it's buried under this box of this stuffed crust pizza. It's a designer pizza kit from DiGiorno. It's got chicken, green peppers, red onions with pepperoni. So we'll try it. See how that works. And there's one more designer pizza kit after that we'll have to try. But yeah, we've got plenty of stuff to review. We also have some Oreos, which I plan on reviewing also. Yeah, we're doing this now. Oreos. Limited edition cookie dough Oreos. So I'll have to try that. But I guess I want something to do. We could review all the other 50,000 Oreo flavors that they come up with. But yeah, where was I here, my friend? Mushrooms. I've never had mushrooms as a pizza topping, really. But it's something to guess to think about. Right, but yeah. It's something I normally don't get. I recently did a review, of course, it's not up yet. Well, I reviewed a Supreme Pizza. It might have been by DiGiorno or no. Yeah, it might have been DiGiorno. Supreme Pizza, and it had olives on it. And listen, I've done enough pizza reviews, I think, to know I'm not a big fan of the olives. Not that I don't like the taste, I've just never tried them before, and I'm not willing to really adapt. But I thought, well, why not? It's a review. Let's try them. I know a lot of people sometimes say olives are like an acquired taste, right? And maybe that's true. Maybe that's a fabrication. But we tried it. There weren't too many on it. And, I didn't mind them. Can't say it would be my pizza topping of choice, but they were alright, This one guy was, I can't say I necessarily agree with his description of olives on a pizza. He said, oh yeah, it's just like candy. I thought to myself, what? What are you talking about? Not quite like candy. Continuing on. Dear, the report of the week. Yawning. You should review a nice home-cooked meal. Well, I've thought of it. But then I realized, listen, I try to stick to tradition with this channel. Whereas I will only review items readily available to the majority of the general public. And let's face it, a home-cooked meal, well, it's not sold in stores nationwide yet. So, it wouldn't serve any purpose. Alright, that's just the problem. Likewise, that's why I don't review local restaurants. I can't say, Papa Bob's Pizza is, let's do a review of that. And then there's only one, location, in the state or whatever. It's just a unique restaurant. It's a locally owned place, a local Italian restaurant, right? And, I don't know. Just wouldn't work out. Oh, sure, some people would watch it, but it just wouldn't serve any purpose, We're closing up with the fan mail. And dear, the report of the week. Hey, next week I'm moving to another town and I'm super nervous. Haven't met any new people in the last 3 years, so my social skills are not looking too good. How should I go about making new friends and meeting people in this new town? Also, ferrets, I'm assuming you have a pet ferret, are illegal in California, so I can't buy one as a pet to keep me company. To me, that's just ridiculous. I hate all the pot smokers out here with their marijuana cards, but these harmless creatures are apparently banned from crossing the border from a neighboring state. Yet, the drug cartels from Mexico get welcomed with open arms here in the stoner state of California. Sincerely, Nick. Do you have any advices you could share? Advice/experiences. Well, I've remained stationary for my entire life. But when I ever offer advice, for instance, if the individual talk about the cross-dressing, I'm not a cross-dresser, but I at least I tried to offer sound advice, and I will do so here, in the situation of moving and transforming to a new environment. Transforming to any new environment, it could be switching schools, switching universities, entirely new geographical area in its entirety is always a difficult thing. Switching jobs, it's another thing, especially if it's a big job working in an office or what have you. You got a whole new batch of coworkers, you don't know how they'll treat you or what have you, how they'll react to you. So, I get it, it's a difficult thing. Well, number one, my opinion on California. Well, of course, I don't have any ferrets, but, can't say support the ganj, right? Especially those stupid kids who go around bragging about it and thinking that it's cool, right? Well, really, no one cares, Just a bunch of degenerates. But how do you make, how do you go about doing this? Well, number one, I say, be yourself. Always be yourself. Because if you find someone who's willing to accept you for who you are, then you know that person is a true friend. If you try to fit in and you try to be someone who you're not, oh sure, you might get accepted by a multitude of people. But then you gotta think about it. You're putting on an act. You're putting on a facade. Number one, what's gonna happen if that just falls to pieces and, you're revealed as your true self and these people don't like you, and you're kind of, up a creek. And number two, really, how genuine is a friendship? If all you're doing is just putting on an act the entire time, then you could be friends with this person, right? Fabricating everything, making things up, trying to be a different person. It's I don't know. I mean, sure, no, some people would have no qualms at all. They'd be fine doing that, but I don't know. That wouldn't be something for me. Number two, if you want to socialize, you want to go out. Listen, the United States is a very extroverted nation. Everyone's willing to talk to each other. Well, maybe not in the present anymore because everyone's so obsessed with their phones. But even so, people are at least willing to make a conversation with complete and total strangers. Socialize to the level of your comfort. If you decide, I don't really want to go out tonight, then don't go out. If you feel, what, let me be daring, let me go to this place or that place, let me hang out at the bar for 6 hours and hope I get someone, well then, if you're feeling confident and comfortable, do it. Just don't make a fool out of yourself, because, well, you'll be a laughingstock. That's not no good either. So, socialize to an extent which you are comfortable with. Alright. Just be yourself. It's very simple advice, but if you follow it, I think you'll be fine. Hope that helps, my friend. And thank you for writing, as always. Hey, review bro. I recently listened to your VORW 44. You said you were reading a book called The Last Lecture, yes? Fine book. I just wanted to recommend a book I've recently read. It's called The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. It's a book about the Chicago World's Fair from a few perspectives, but primarily two. From the perspective of the main architect in charge, Daniel Burnham, and from the perspective of H.H. Holmes, a serial murderer who created a hotel to lure young women in order to kill them. Despite this grisly subject, the book is absolutely brilliant. It's a bit slow-going at first, but once I became invested, I found myself in awe at the Chicago World's Fair. And just from the way the author describes it, he explains that most people who visited it were in a state of shock and awe throughout their whole visit at the beauty of it all. I found myself equally in awe. My jaw sometimes quite literally dropped as he described the scenes. The imagery is superb. Just want to recommend the book and say, hey, keep going on, review bro. P.S. Do that casual wear video. It'll be a blast. So I actually read this message last night. It was the last message I got to before the microphone died on me. And you know what I did? Ordered the book from the library and hope to get it very soon and start reading it. Actually, someone who I know read the book and had only good things to say about it. So I'll definitely be reading that soon. And thank you for the recommendation. Hey, really bad day today. Looking forward to a new VORW later. I know you had to go to the dentist the other day, and that likely sucked. Yeah, I mean, now I gotta go back and get it done, you know. What do you do to rise above a crappy day? Any advice is appreciated. We all love you. Well, thank you. Yeah. Oh, trust me, I've had my fair share of terrible, terrible days. I mean, listen, every day for me has its ups and downs. Today is a better day. But some days it's just constantly down. Something either happens, or you're just not in a good mood to begin with, or, you know, this and that. And you got things on your mind, you got things going on. Oh my gosh, what is this? What's going on? How am I going to get myself out of this problem, this quandary, whatever it may be? I understand. It could be quite a difficult task, you know, to even remain positive and happy. And, well, what do I do when I have a really bad day? Well, number one, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta remain calm. If you're having a terrible day, sometimes some people feel the need, and listen, I'm not, I know there's some people who watch these who I'm sure, you know, aficionados of alcohol, who drink regularly, and I'm not bashing that at all. But, and just try not to really turn to alcohol when you're having a bad day. Because it might help immediately. It'll just leave you hungover and still feeling bad. You know, I don't recommend turning to any of that. You gotta keep calm. Number two, if you're upset or angry, don't let the emotions take control of you. Because sometimes if you're in a bad mood and you're having a bad day, sometimes you might act in a way that'll just make things worse. You gotta stay cool, stay calm. What do I do when I'm having a very bad day? Well, sometimes I'll do a number of things. Sometimes if it's a problem that's facing me, I'll sit down somewhere, I'll calm myself down, close my eyes, then I'll think. I'll think about all the possible solutions. And then I'll think, you know, I'll start thinking of all the possible solutions, many of which are far, far worse than what could ever have happened. And that helps to bring optimism. Because then you think, you know, after it passes, you think, you know, it wasn't really that bad. Things could have been so much worse. Number two, you gotta be optimistic. You have to stay optimistic. And that can be very, very hard, you know. Listen, I'll bring up a point right now. This albatross of a channel. I don't say it I do say it in a negative way. This channel here, this Report of the Week channel, right, on YouTube, well, it's a very good thing. It's helped, hopefully, at least one person out. You know, this channel, I mean, if I have made one person's day better through anything, from my shows, reviews, anything, my work is done. But I hope this channel leads to some good, somehow. But it also leads to a lot of bad things, not for anyone else, just me, you know. let's face it, I'm odd. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I'm just saying it as it is. I'm a character. So, that being said, I get a lot of flack from all sides, all fronts, usually from different places at a time. Now it seems to be Twitter that's getting on my nerves. You gotta ignore it. So, I mean, you got all sorts of stuff. Just the other day, I was seeing this one thing. This guy completely destroyed my mood, at least for a while. I made a very, very insulting parody video of my channel, portraying me as a helpless, mentally retarded individual. And I was very, very insulted by it. Of course, I didn't let any of that out. I just said, I didn't think I was that bad. I took it, of course, I might have wanted to say, you go here, you this and that, and, just say it as it was, but I held myself together. I said, I didn't think I was that, whatever. Well, I forget the word I said specifically. And, I said, at least to put the time and effort into that. I tried to keep positive, which I did. And truthfully, listen, I was feeling the exact opposite of that, but I had to keep calm and collected and look at it that way. But, still gets to you. I gotta say, one thing I want to point out, another thing when I'm having a bad day, when I take these walks, right? It's almost a form of meditation, if you will. A lot of the time I'll just take a longer walk or walk more slowly. Just take time to take everything in, and that's usually when I help. When I usually I'm able to think of solutions or think about things, so I usually get things taken care of. It's just I think when you're walking at night, helps commune with nature in a non-druggy way, and helps clear the mind. But where were we here? One interesting observation I made about the food reviewing community. Well, I won't name reviewers here, but it's not negative at all, so keep that in mind when I say them. I've realized that the food reviewing community gets a lot of flack for something that really shouldn't, Well, what are you talking about, Review Carl? I'll tell you. Let's name 4 food reviewers. 4 at least somewhat well-known food reviewers. Myself being one of them. Let's start with me. Report of the week. Listen, I'm heavily targeted for, maybe my manner of speech, sometimes my actions, and especially for my manner of dress. I'm attacked from all fronts online. Insulted perpetually and constantly. There's another reviewer by the name of Mr. Spicy Carl Assessment. From what I've seen on his videos, he too is also attacked for who he is. Number 3, there's a reviewer out there by the name of Robert Dyer. He's got a few thousand subscribers. He too is attacked online for his style of reviewing and the way he is, for who he is. And 4th, there's a very well-regarded reviewer by the name of Mr. Joey's World Tour. And he too is, extremely insulted upon. And, attacked for, number 1, the style of his reviews, his more, I suppose, almost childish, right, manner of reviews, and also for his lifestyle and for who he chooses to be, who he wants to be. And, I think of it, these are 3 other reviewers who I'm well aware of. All 3 of them, just like me, are insulted upon, or used pretty much as punching bags by the online community. Yet we all keep going on and making reviews. Well, they're a fun thing to do. And we have a small, loyal audience. But I thought of it, What is it about food reviewers, really, that everyone hates, you know? It's just such an odd thing. Because 3 other pretty big food reviewers face the exact same problem that I do. And sure, they aren't anywhere as near as vocal about it as I am, you know. But they face the exact same problem. Extreme, inordinate amounts of criticism online. What do we do, you know? We don't make controversial political or religious videos. We review food. Fast food, mostly. I didn't think it was that bad. You know. Just a very interesting observation. Didn't think it would be such a controversial field to get into, right? I realized the only way you could ever even review food online without garnering criticism is to, number 1, be under the radar, or number 2, to not even show your face on camera and just to film the food the entire time. And even then, they'll find a way. But it's something about food reviewers that just does it. I don't know what. It's just an odd thing. This is a weird thing. But we all continue on. We keep doing our thing. And all of them, the channels I mentioned, and for anyone else who is also plagued by the same, stay strong. Carry on. Keep doing what you like, and always remember, you got people out there who truly do care about your videos, and if anything, do it for them, Even sure, there might be, 20,000 people watching, and sure, maybe only 5 of them might truly care, but do it for that very small amount. There's someone out there who truly does support you and isn't laughing at you or insulting at you. And I could only hope the same applies to this channel. I don't want to say I'm pretending when I say this. But what can we do? We must ignore it and continue on. And that I am. I was wondering if you have any siblings or if you're an only child, if you don't mind me asking. Going solo. Hey there. I was wondering, do you ever imagine what it would be like, / how your life would be different if you were born the opposite gender? I do. It's something that crosses my mind fairly often. But I have no active desire to change gender or anything like that. Not sure if this is normal. Regards. Well, thank you. Interesting question. Well, now, here's the kick. If I were a female, right? Number 1, how would I dress? At least as a male, I don't really research women's fashion at all, so I don't know where I'm going with this. I pretty much know nothing here. But, at least here, I could wear conservative clothing, right? That, is more archaic in nature, but comfortable and accepted. Right? Women's fashion, though, it progresses so fast, what would I be wearing if I were a female, right? And I still did these reviews, right? And I still chose to dress appropriately. What would I be wearing? Would I be wearing one of those tight dresses or something? I'm not criticizing anyone here, but I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what I would be wearing. I don't know. I know by some that's considered formal. I don't know. Would I be wearing like those, Victorian era dresses? The full length ones? I really don't know what my attire would translate to. I guess I'd find something. Right. But, not something I think about too often. But, I figure if I were still here right now, and, if I were a female, right, I'm going on the spot right here, because it's not something I often think about. But it's an interesting topic, now that you mention it. If I were a female, right, and I still managed this channel, and I still did these exact same reviews, running on empty, energy crisis, all of that, how would my life differ? I could say one of 2 possibilities. Well, actually, mostly one possibility, I'm sure. Chances are I'd have double the amount of subscribers, and, probably at least, maybe only 1/4 of the hatred that I get. Only because of my change in gender. Even if I act the exact same way, It's a simple change in gender. And once again, I understand that I have viewers of both genders, and I mean this not with insult in any manner. I just simply say it as it is. Simply because a change in gender, I would be female, right? It would garner me, I literally, I have about 19,000 right now. I'd have about 40,000 subscribers, minimum, I'm saying. And yeah, once again, probably only a quarter amount of the hatred. Because, well, it's an interesting mindset that some of the haters, right? The specific group that mostly targets me have. They're thinking, oh, if you're a guy, you could go to hell and this and that, and you could go die, and you're autistic, and blah, blah, blah. Right. Oh, but if you're a woman, maybe, OMG, you're so beautiful, can I get some pics, this and that. And even statements like that might get to me, But, that'll be a pain either way. But, would I be happier? Well, once again, I can't say I'm destined to be female. I'm content with my gender as I am. But would I be happier? At least treated online, I'm sure I'd be, I'd get less, right? I don't know, it's just something I haven't thought about. But now it's very thought-provoking and very interesting. How odd. Would I be happier, though? Would I? If I got less hate, right? That's clearly one of the leading causes to my dissatisfaction, with myself and all of that. I think there's no need to go on a tirade about that. Right? If there was less of that, clearly I might think a little more highly of myself. Interesting. Just something I never get. And you might be thinking, well, why are you getting all like this? And it is because I'm in a state of deep thought right now, because it's something I haven't ever thought about. Hey, listen, I truly thank you for bringing that up. It's just a topic that I almost never get to talk about. So, thanks for bringing it up, man. Really, thank you. Got to hear a rare, thought-provoking moment on this show. Right. I rarely think. I just act, right? I'm like a little insect. I just act based on my surroundings. But I got to think for once. And finally, this one was in the filtered message, because I think I have a set of keywords. Let me find it for you. I'll just say it right now. I have a set of keywords here. It says community settings. There's a little, shows all the banned users, right? The most recent ones. And it says blacklists. And it says comments closely matching these words will be held for review. So I have the words autistic, autism, autist, comments, enable, and downs, all there. So if anyone uses any of those words in any message, of course comments are non-existent, but in a private message, it automatically goes into the filtered messages folder. So it could be held for review. So, that's why it helps me do I guess if it feels like it's insulting or whatever, could get rid of it and I don't have to necessarily see it. But sometimes a lot of genuine messages just, end up in there. Hey man, I just started watching your stuff. Very classy. I like the way you present everything in an orderly manner and try to be unbiased with your reviews. This last one where you're making the pizza actually looked quite fun. I was just wondering why you disable comments. See, that's what put it in this folder. I'd like to be able to tell you what I thought of the foods if I had tried it in the past, and to discuss with other viewers as well. Have you had problems with people fighting in the comments or something? Again, just very curious. Very good reviews. Now, continue watching. They're pretty funny, and well, thank you. Yeah, no, it's mostly not anyone fighting. I mean, surely now, I suppose arguments could erupt, someone could be saying, I hope you die, if I see you, I'll kill you, and someone could say, no, don't say that, and then the person will respond in an aggressive manner, and fight can erupt in the comments section. Number one, I don't want that. Number two, I don't want the comments, going against me, just populating my videos, which they surely would. So, I just don't want that stuff. I figure if you have something bad to say, take it to your forum and say it there, but I don't want it on this channel. That's really why. I don't know if comments will ever be back up. You know, people never change. So, what can be done? Now, finally, going to Reddit. I'd like to give a shout out. Say, last but not least. Oh yes, and we have a new Reddit post. I've been waiting for him to cover this. It's the DiGiorno Designer Pizza Kit. Assembly and review. Well, thank you. I'm glad I could have covered it. Now, we had a shout out here on Reddit. And, listen, this person got some flack, I suppose, for her phrasing of the shout-out originally and for her grammar, but, I don't hold anyone accountable. I'm willing to accept everyone for as they are. It's really, I base judgments off of actions, not how someone types or how someone, wants to give a shout-out, right? It wasn't really insulting, it's just something that I wouldn't say on this show. So we changed a few things up, and I'll give this shout-out now, right? Saving the best for last. I'd like to give a shout-out to Maxine. Maxine, who also goes by the username on Reddit as Hot Sexy Baby. We'll say that once. But I'd like to give a formal and official Report of the Week shout-out to Maxine. Hope all is well. Glad we were able to fix things, this shout-out and everything. And we'll have an official shout-out. Hope that shall suffice. Either way, here we are now. Well, what did we do in this show? We didn't do anything, really. Well, I guess I guess it depends how you look at it. An hour and 2 minutes, I suppose it's enough to clear things out. So yeah, I'll be up the night, as always. And, that's about it. So, we talked about a variety of topics. We just read fan mail the whole time and took our time to really go on about it. We didn't have a lot of fan mail at all. I just took time to talk about it and went on with a few stories and various things. So I'll consider this show to be another one with general talk, right? Because that's what it was. I really thought that shows where I didn't have any topic would be quite difficult to do, but then I realized, it's actually very easy. Because thanks to the fan mail and all that, it actually just keeps us going, and it brings me on all sorts of tangents that I would never imagine otherwise. And that gets me going. So thank you all for writing in. Without that, this show, well, it would definitely be different. But thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Remember, let your voice be heard. Feel free to send me a message if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or just want to talk. Feel free to send me a message via YouTube. And I'll read and respond to it at the beginning of each and every VORW show, as I always do. Please remember, though, that if, and only if, you would like for me to personally reply to your message, please specify at the beginning of your message, and it shall be done. Hopefully later that day, but, if something happens, within at least a few business days, right? Or not just a few days, and I'll get it taken care of. But, that being said, thank you for watching. This is the Report of the Week here, and this is VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. Thanks for watching or listening. I'll see you later. Take care. This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing off.